Once upon a time, along the shores of the Niger River lies a small village called Umuoma. This village was known for its tropical rainforest, sparkling rivers, and the warm-hearted people who lived there. The villagers were fishermen, farmers, and traders who lived in harmony with nature and each other. In the depths of the great Niger River, there lived a beautiful young mermaid named Uloma. Uloma was the daughter of Ezewanyi, the queen of the underwater kingdom called Ala Mmiri. Uloma's beauty shone like the brightest pearl, her long hair flowing like the seaweed in the ocean current. Her voice was a melodious gift capable of charming the fish and entrancing all who heard it. The underwater kingdom was a magical place filled with colorful coral reefs, shimmery fishes, and ancient treasures hidden in the sands. Uloma was a curious and adventurous mermaid who loved to explore the world above the water, the world of humans. One sunny day, as Uloma swam near the surface of the river, she heard the sound of laughter and music coming from the village of Umuoma. She peeked above the water and saw the villagers celebrating a festival. The children were dancing, the women were cooking delicious meals, and the men were playing drums and flutes. Uloma was fascinated by the sight and sounds of the human world. As she watched, her eyes fell upon a young man named Chidi. Chidi was the son of the village chief called Chief Obina. He was tall, handsome, and kind-hearted. Chidi was known for his bravery and his love for his people. Uloma felt her heart flutter as she watched him dance and laugh with his friends. She knew she had to meet him someday. Uloma was also singing in a haunting melody that seemed to call to him. Entranced, Chidi was drawn to the beauty from afar, but he was more focused on dancing and he couldn't figure out or get a clear picture of who it was. That night, Uloma swam back to her underwater kingdom and told her mother Ezewanyi about her desire to live among the humans someday. But their love was forbidden. The marine world and humans are worlds apart. Ezewanyi was worried for her daughter's safety but understood her longing. She warned Uloma about the dangers of the human world and the sacrifices she would have to make. Uloma was determined and begged her mother to help her. Ezewanyi then took Uloma to the wise old sea witch called Nehemiri, who lived in a dark cave at the edge of the kingdom. Nehemiri was known for her powerful magic and her ability to grant wishes, but her help always came at a price. Uloma explained her wish to become human and meet Chidi. Nehemiri agreed to help, but warned Uloma that she would have to give up her golden voice in exchange for legs. Uloma agreed, and with a wave of Nehemiri's magic wand, she transformed into a human girl. But her time in the human world is limited. The condition was strict. Uloma can only live in the world of humans forever with her new legs and also gets back her golden voice if Chidi kisses and professed his love to her. Uloma swam to the shores and crawled onto the sandy beach. She looked down at her new legs and tried to stand. It was difficult at first, but she managed to take a few steps. She wrapped herself in a cloth she found on the shore and made her way to the village of Umuoma. As she entered the village, the villagers stared at her in amazement. They had never seen such a beautiful girl before. Chidi, who was nearby, noticed the commotion and came to see what was happening. When he saw Uloma, he was captivated by her beauty and grace. He approached her and asked her name, but Uloma could not speak. She pointed to her throat and shook her head, indicating that she could not talk. Chidi took Uloma to his home and introduced her to his family. Eze Obina and his wife Lolo Ifeoma welcomed her with open arms. They gave her food, clothes, and a place to stay. Uloma was grateful and tried to communicate with them through gestures and expressions. She quickly became a beloved member of the village. As the days passed, Uloma and Chidi grew closer. They spent their days exploring the village together, fishing in the river and dancing under the stars. Chidi taught Uloma about the customs and traditions of the Igbo people, and Uloma shared her knowledge of the underwater world through drawings and gestures. Despite the language barrier, they understood each other perfectly. One day, a terrible storm hit the village of Umuoma. The river overflowed and the villagers were in danger of being swept away by the flood waters. Chidi and Uloma worked together to help the villagers to safety. Uloma's knowledge of the river and its currents proved valuable, and with her help, they were able to save many lives. After the storm passed, the villagers praised Chidi and Uloma for their bravery. Eze Obina declared that a grand feast would be held in their honor. As the preparations for the feast began, Uloma felt a pang of sadness. She knew that her time in the human world was limited, and she would soon have to return to the underwater kingdom. On the night of the feast, Uloma and Chidi danced together under the moonlight, and Chidi reached out to Uloma and planted a kiss on her lips. Immediately, Uloma felt a strange sensation in her throat. She tried to speak, and to her amazement, her voice returned. She sang a beautiful song that told the story of her journey from the underwater kingdom to the village of Umuoma. The villagers were enchanted by her voice and her story. Chidi realized that Uloma was the mermaid he had heard about in the old legend. He was amazed by her courage and her love for him. He took her hand and promised to love her forever, no matter where she came from. Ezewai, who had been watching from the river, saw the love between Uloma and Chidi. She knew that her daughter had found her true home. With a heavy heart, she decided to let Uloma stay in the human world. She blessed their union and returned to the underwater kingdom. Uloma and Chidi were married in a grand ceremony attended by the entire village. They lived happily ever after, and their love story became a legend in the village of Umuoma. The villagers would often tell the tale of the brave mermaid who gave up everything for love and found her true home in the heart of Umuoma. And so the story of Uloma and Chidi was passed down from generation to generation, a timeless tale of love, courage, and the magic of the human heart.